new app. What's that about, and how can people use it?
Well, it's called FitStar, and basically it's a personal training program where I am your personal trainer. So it's, you go to the app, you fill out a little questionnaire, your goals, weight, height, what you want to achieve, what you've done, just a little questionnaire about where you're at, and then we give you a program to give you to go after whatever goal that you want. So and it adjusts. The cool thing about it is that it's never the same thing. I mean, depending on how you feel, like you can always excel. So if you have moderate goals, you're a beginner, it will spit out a program that's for you. And the better you get, the harder the program. So it adjusts to your level, and I love that about it. That's my favorite thing about it, because it's so interactive, and the technology on it is just amazing. It's HD. It also creates a community around your workout. So it'll send push notifications to your friends to let them know that you're working out, and I believe that's important when you're working out. Just like we are on the football team, we always have somebody in there working out with you, motivating you, and that's important in anything, So I love that about it. I love you can take it anywhere you want. It's on your iPad or iPhone, and you can take it on the go. Especially someone like me. I'm always traveling. You can do it in your hotel.
And it's good whether you're just starting out or whether you're advanced.
It's for beginners or experts, and to get to the FitStar level, I mean, it's tough. I mean, when we were doing the moves, I was exhausted. Some of the stuff I had a hard time doing. So it's for the expert or the beginner. Like I said, we'll start you out nice and light, and I'm there to motivate you. I'm with you every step of the way. And that's like I said, that's my favorite part about it, is that I'm with you from beginning to end. It's like we're in this together. And it's like having your own personal trainer right there with you, as opposed to like a DVD where you're seeing the same move every day. You're at the same level every day. It gets old, and you probably get hurt too, especially if you're a beginner. Trying to do all these crazy moves, you can't do that right away. So I love how it eases you into a workout that you're comfortable with, and I'm telling you, good job.
Player,
good stuff.
What it's like to have that kind of direct communication with a lot of fans that 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the players didn't have. Where as a fan, if I tweet to you, maybe you're going to read that and even respond. And is that a different, kind of thinking and a different way to be a player?
Yeah, well, it's a good thing, and it should be a good thing, but also it can be a bad thing too. Guys get themselves in trouble by what they tweet sometimes. But as far as connecting with the fans, there's nothing better than that. It's great.
Do you find it difficult to stop yourself from responding to a lot of things that you might see, whether it's a criticism or a compliment, or you have to fight against not responding to every little thing? Yeah,
because a lot of the times they're fans, and so they're going to say whatever they want, or whatever they think they know what's going on. Everybody's an expert, so yeah, you get a little offended sometimes, I guess. But my thing is, I just don't read that stuff now. I used to when I first got on. I'd read like a lot of the comments to me. But yeah, there's always going to be people out there critiquing you and telling you that you're doing it wrong, or you should do this and that. But that's part of it, though. I think that's the cool part. Once you understand that they're just being fans, and you can respond and have fun with it, then it's okay. But it's hard. It's hard to fight back when somebody. Not to fight back when somebody tells you that you're a bum, or that you drop 3 balls, or whatever it is, and they need to trade you or something like that.
When there is a response, that if you were talking to that person face to face, that you would respond differently.
Well, most of them, they probably wouldn't say it face to face. It's kind of like being in a car when somebody cuts you off. Very brave in the car, but they would never do that if we were actually walking on the street. Because
it's a different situation. I read a lot about sports video games. Are you a Madden player?
Not really. I mean, if I do play a video game, I'll play Madden though.
And do you think, as a player, that it's a realistic representation, even so much that it even could be used as a training tool, or it's just a fun thing to play?
I think it's a fun thing to play. I mean, as a training tool, no, I don't think so.
Even with the realism, where the players match what the real players can do and things like that, it's not at that level yet?
I'm not, like I said, I don't play it that much. It looks good. My son plays it all the time. All the time. And I watch it. It looks great, but I don't know, as a teaching tool.
Right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, there's nothing like the real thing, baby.
I write a lot about the NFL in LA and how we can get a team here. Do you have any thoughts on why there's no team here? What the potential is for a team to come here?
I think the reason there's no team here right now is money. For whatever reason, they can't work a deal out. Or maybe this city doesn't want to pay for it, or the guy coming in doesn't want this and that. I mean, I know there was a couple of deals where it was almost there.
Yes.
It was almost done. It was pretty much for sure done, right? They were saying it was going to get done, but it didn't happen.
Well, the stadium deal is supposed to be done.
Yeah.
As to whether they've been able to secure a team, that seems way up in the air.
It doesn't make sense though,
Right.
why there's not a team here.
Right.
It makes no sense at all. I mean, you look at the huge, just amount of people in the
Right.
city, a lot of branding for the NFL.
Right.
You think the NFL would be like, look, somebody's got to make this happen.
Right.
But then it comes down to, obviously, everybody wants it to happen.
Right.
I think there's enough fans that would support the team, even though it is LA,
Right.
and they're very flighty, and they like winners, otherwise
Right.
they don't show up. But I still think that they could get a team in here that people would support. But it comes down to money. I mean, obviously, the numbers aren't matching up for somebody.
And is there anything that you think a fan can do to move things forward, or that's just way out of everyone's hands?
I think that's out of everyone's hands because people know, fans have already said it. Like
Right.
you said, you've been writing about it.
Right.
I know I want one.
Right.
You know, especially when I get done playing, I might want to take my kid to a game.
Right,
you know,
right.
without having to fly out of, get on a plane.
Right, especially someone that grew up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up watching the Raiders and the Rams. It's cool. It's fun to get behind a team. It's the #1 sport in America.
Right.
Why? And LA is whatever, right? New York and LA. It's
Right.
the pulse of America.
You would think.
So why wouldn't when they have a football pro team here? You know.
And do you think a team would end up moving here, or do you think it would be an expansion team that's added?
I think my thing, what I would do if I was in charge, I would probably want an existing team
Right.
to move here. I wouldn't want to. Don't start a new team in LA. That's so tough.
Right, right.
Because then you're really talking about people not showing up.
Right, right.
Because they're not going to be good right away.
Right.
That's just how it goes. The nature of the beast when it comes
Right.
to new teams. Unless the NFL made sure they were good by
Right.
giving them a bunch of first-round draft choices, but all these other teams would go crazy on something like that.
Right.
But if a team like, I don't know, Jacksonville came in town, at least there's a built-in following already.
Right.
Hopefully, it's switching coast there, or San Diego moving up. I've heard the Raiders
Right,
moving
right.
back, or whatever. Just at least you got a built-in fan base already.
Do you think the Raiders would ever move back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I do write
That
a
would
lot.
make the most sense. I think that would be the team to do
Right.
it. If they're going to do it, they need to bring the Raiders back down.
Right. Because I think the support would be here.
Oh, it'd be huge.
I do write a lot about the Raiders. Do you have any, especially someone that grew up here and experienced them? I write a lot about Al Davis and the impact that he's had on football. Do you have any thoughts on him and kind of that whole, his impact on the game?
Well, just from what I've read and what I've heard, a lot of coaches. I have Terry Rubisky is out there in Atlanta with us, and so I hear stories from him all the time.
Of the old days.
Of the old days. When I was watching back in
Right,
the
right.
80s, back when Marcus Allen and Lyle and all those guys were out there.
Right.
But yeah, his legacy is huge.
Right.
I mean, what he's done for the NFL, and I love his story, how he got the team.
Right.
And all this. I mean, it's just old school.
Right.
getting in there.
First he was against the leagues coming together, and then he led the leagues coming together. And all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but you also see he's kind of a firecracker. Like he got, well, from what I've seen on these documentaries and stories about him, what he's blown some deals out of the water too.
Right.
That
Including the stadium in
yeah,
LA.
the stadium in LA.
That they were ready to build
Yeah.
at Hollywood Park.
Which,
Yeah.
as a Raider fan, that was sad.
Right. Looking at back at NFL history, which player historically, not currently playing now, would you most like to have played alongside? And which historic player would you most have feared to play against, offense and defense?
Played alongside, I would love to have played with, it's a good question, I've never had that one, ever. I would love to, obviously a quarterback is what I would choose as being a guy who catches the ball. So
Right.
I'd love to have played with maybe Johnny Unitas.
Really?
Yeah. They say he's the best quarterback ever.
Right.
Ever. So yeah, I would love to play with him.
Right.
See what it was all about.
Did you ever meet him before he passed away?
No.
No.
Never got to meet him.
And what about a historic defensive player that you would never have wanted to play? You never would have wanted to face in a game, like a historic player.
It's hard to ask me that question because I would.
You have no fear.
I would love to go against.
Well, then, okay, change it. Who would you have loved to have gone against?
Dick Buckets.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he's the best.
Because he's the best, whatever, quote unquote, the best. I heard he talked a lot. I would love to see his antics on the field, of what he's saying during the game.
And maybe shut him up.
Yeah, maybe we shut him up and say, well, you think you're pretty good, huh?
With the huge international fan base for the NFL, do you think that they should play more games internationally, outside the U.S.?
Yeah, I do. Even though it's tough on the team, though.
Right.
It's really tough.
Do you think most of the players feel that it's good for the whole league and as a business?
I hope they do.
Reach those
the ones I've talked to, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would love it. I've done that one time. That's
right.
it. We played in Toronto this year too.
Right.
But I mean, like going over to the London game, I would love that, or going down to Mexico or something.
Right, right.
I mean,
or even expanding into Japan or something like that.
And if we did the American Bowl one year,
right.
98 preseason though.
Right.
We went over there and played in the Dome.
Right.
Against Green Bay over there. So
really,
yeah, it was fun.
Wow.
You're giving guys an experience too. I mean, there's so many pluses as far as I'm concerned.
For the players themselves.
For the players themselves. I was 22 years old going to Tokyo, Japan.
Right, right.
That was cool.
Right, seeing the world.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Right, right.
I mean, it was,
you
life-changing for me.
Sons, do you have thoughts on kids playing football and wearing helmets and that whole kind of controversy and situation? Whether it's appropriate, do you let your kids play?
Yeah.
If you want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I have a 12-year-old that I have not let play tackle football yet.
Right.
This is his first year now. I think he's getting to an age now he can do it. Right around 6th grade, that level. I think they're okay. They're not moving that fast anyway, where they can come knock each other out when they hit each other. And I played Pop Warner football.
Right.
Some stuff's just unavoidable. It's unavoidable.
Right.
Just like in the NFL.
Right.
So people out there that have a big problem with that, it is football.
Right.
And it's you play with your head.
Right.
You hit people with your face. That's why we have face masks and helmets.
Right.
And you try to make it as safe as possible. And they're doing a good job. But some of that stuff's unavoidable.
Right.
And it's not likely it's going to happen, but it does happen every once in a while. But like anything else.
Right. Riding your bike or whatever.
Yeah, riding your bike or skateboarding. I mean, it's dangerous.
Right. Being from Huntington Beach, what's the best restaurant in Huntington Beach?
In Huntington Beach, right now, to me, Sushi on Fire on Main Street.
Okay.
Great sushi spot.
How about best breakfast spot?
I know everybody wants to say the place on Main Street too, but I love Noko'oi, the Hawaiian spot.
Okay.
I think who do you think, dude?
I'm not down there.
Oh, you're not down there?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Noko'oi.
Is this somewhere you see yourself going after the NFL? In terms of fitness and working with people and things like that?
Yeah, well, I'm passionate about health and wellness because I do that with myself.
Right.
And I think that's probably the reason I've been able to play so long.
Right.
But yeah, I love being a part of that. Helping kids. Obviously, you get in shape. Obesity is a huge problem with our kids in America as well as our adults. I mean, it's just an epidemic right now, and I think a lot of it could be avoided by proper nutrition and exercising. And I'm passionate about that, so I love going out there and talking to people about it, whether it's kids or adults. I'm always preaching, hey, you need to go out there, you need to make sure you take it a little bit more serious.
Right.
Because it helps everybody.
Right.
I mean, it helps the environment, if you're choosing organic or whatever, or eating good food. It helps the healthcare. All this debate in Washington, I mean, our healthcare costs could go down if people were just healthier.
Right, significantly, yeah.
So it's something that I'm definitely passionate about.